Yo, what's up, y'all? Um, I got a little, short rant for y'all right now. Um, was looking at the tweets from Obama and Hillary about the Sri Lanka thing, and I find it a bit ridiculous that they call the people tourists and Easter worshippers. Because I don't know what an Easter worshiper is. I've never heard that in my life. Easter worshiper. Nobody worships Easter. You either celebrate or you observe Easter. Uh, why are we not making up a word to describe their disdain for Christians? Christian phobia. They won't say the word. It must be because they're phobic. They have a phobia about it. And, you know, we were told Obama was a Christian. If he was a Christian, he would never say a Easter worshiper. So I find that ridiculous. Of course, people are trying to give him a pass on it. There's no politically correct way to say it. There's a worldwide attack on Christianity, and everybody's being silent on it, except for the YouTube media and um, the usual suspect hosts on Fox: Tucker, Hannity, Laura, and Judge Janine. I think it's pretty stupid that this continues to go on. It's sickening that they won't call these Islamic people terrorists. It's getting old fast. It's not a religion of peace. The premises of it is not peaceful. Muhammad was not a peaceful person. The way Farrakhan rants and raves, the way he had Malcolm X hating white people is not peaceful. You know, those are my thoughts on that. I find that just pretty ridiculous. Another thing I'm sick of that's been big for the last week and a half is all this white supremacy and racism and white nationalism and all this nonsense talk. Once again, Candace Owens is getting harassed by uh, groups of white people, but being called a white supremacist when she's black. You got the social engineering on a level that just can't be described. I mean, me and my sister had a white privilege argument where she basically regurgitated CNN, MSNBC talking points. And, one thing you know when you're winning an argument with somebody, when they don't have any facts, is when they're emotional about it, when they get mad, when they don't want to talk about it no more, or they change the subject. That's when you know you won an argument. You might as well drop the mic then. Argument over. Um, Also, we got basically like the inmates running the asylum type thing going on. People letting their kids to decide things that shouldn't be up for discussion for a kid. Charlize Theron letting her son decide he's a girl, or her daughter decide she's a boy, or whatever it is. Dwayne Wade's 11-year-old coming out as gay. All this stuff is ridiculous. I say you should support your kids and all that type of stuff, and I don't agree. A child, when they're a minor and when they live in your household, don't have a right to make decisions about nothing. So, you know, because when you think about heterosexual, homosexual, bisexual, whatever, it's a sexuality. It denotes sex. Sex should not be something an 11-year-old is thinking about, like other YouTubers have came out and said. So, you know, supporting him. I'm sorry, if you live in my household, I don't care how old you are, you're not gay or straight. You don't get to make a sexual decision living under my roof. You could be 30 and you're not gay or straight because you're not having sex until you get the hell out of my house. So that's ridiculous to me. Um, Kids that don't even truly understand what being a little boy or a little girl means, deciding that they're transgender or that they're the opposite sex of what they were born, is stupid. Um, we're gonna have a generation of real screwed up kids pretty soon, and that's a scary thing. You know, the world is already being dominated by crazy people, and we're raising generations of crazy people. This is a rant, so there's no specific topic. Um, I was on a panel discussion a few nights ago with Carl's opinion. Part of it was about the Mueller report, and this is my opinion of the Mueller report. 2 years ago when it came out, I thought it was bullshit, so I didn't follow it because I don't care. I don't care about stuff that's not true. I don't care about stuff that's stupid. So I had no interest in reading it. The only information I've ever got on it is when people did videos on it and when Sean Hannity would mention it. Other than that, I don't know anything about the Mueller report because I don't want to know anything about the Mueller report. It's a distraction. There's no telling what type of crap on the local and city level, state and local level they're trying to pass because you're too busy worried about the Mueller report. So, they still can't handle the fact that there was no collusion. There was no obstruction because there was no collusion. They can't get over it, you know. And this whole thing with his tax returns, if he went through his 30, 40 years of being a businessman and didn't pay no taxes and didn't get audited by the IRS, it's because he found a legal way not to pay any taxes. So I personally don't care whether he did or didn't pay taxes. I only care about shit that affects me. Him not paying taxes doesn't affect me. Him paying taxes doesn't affect me. So I don't care. I don't care what his tax return says as president because it still doesn't affect me. At 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, I will be getting up to go to work, whether he paid taxes or not. Now, unless somebody can figure out how I can make the same exact amount of money not going to work tomorrow and Monday through Friday for the next 17 years until I retire, I don't care. So there's that. Another subject that is being ran into the ground that I'm getting really sick of is Nipsey Hussle. Um, some say it's a psyop, some say not. I don't care either way. If he's really dead, rest in peace. If he's not dead, fuck him. Who cares? The new out Nipsey Hussle outrage is that Shitty Balls told someone that the LAPD gave him $75,000 to kill Nipsey Hussle. And so this is trending on Twitter. Akintunde Nation 2.0 did a video on it. The late, great Nipsey Hussle. Nipsey Hussle was so great, and Nipsey Hussle was a genius. Somebody commented in Access Chat or another chat I was watching, and they told the truth. It's like, yeah, he did good things for his community, but he owed them because he was one of the people that made the community unsafe. And I was like, you know what? That's a good point. You owed them that. Like, if Steve Harvey doesn't do anything for Cleveland, he doesn't have to. He doesn't owe us anything. Because to my knowledge, Steve Harvey wasn't some like asshole kid that went around killing folks and beating folks up and destroying property. So whatever. But they're correct. South Central LA and Compton was an unsafe place to live directly because of Nipsey Hussle and people like him. So okay, he He basically did something that they do in every hood. There's a t-shirt shop and a barber shop. He was doing all this great stuff. Like what? Nobody has an answer. He was a genius. How was he a genius? The neighborhood I grew up in, 105, have t-shirt shops and barber shops. Are those people geniuses? No. What's genius? He bought up the whole block. Okay, with t-shirt shop and barber shops. You're not explaining to me how he's a genius. And then you have the crowd of he was telling people, he was telling artists that they should own their masters. If I could have been in the same room with the person who said that, I would have punched him in the face. He was telling people to own their masters. Is that some kind of a joke? Was I the only one on the planet during the 90s? He was telling people that? Really? So, none of us saw Prince would walk around with slave written on his face. I mean, he shaved his beard just so he could write slave on his cheek. He used to say, if you don't own your masters own you. That's what the whole 90s was about. That's why you couldn't call him by his name, because of that beef with Warner Brothers. This man used to do concerts, sold out, 30, 40,000 people chanting free the slave and fuck Warner Brothers. So we're going to try to pretend like that shit never happened. Digital downloads, MP3 downloads, streaming, selling your music online, selling CDs online, all of this stuff was created by Prince. This is why he has a Webby. A Webby is an award given to people who made innovations using the internet. No other musician, to my knowledge, has one of those. Michael Jackson, nobody. Nobody has one of those. They don't. They don't have it. So, I mean, this, people saying this stuff is super irritating to me. That as Black people, when we have greats, when we have icons, we don't have respect and awareness for what they done and what they meant. And we uphold and canonize the ones that we shouldn't. Y'all see that? I mentioned that documentary in Access Chat before. A coworker of mine told me it was on Sunday and he taped it. Y'all see what that said? It said slave trade. How Prince remade the music business. It didn't say Prince and Michael Jackson and U2 and Nipsey Hussle and Prince single-handedly by himself. I posted a couple songs from Musicology on my page. Musicology is the tour he did in 2004, because it was the CD he released in 2004. That tour made him $88 million, and he self-promoted that tour. 6 months, $88 million. This dude was so genius, so brilliant. He raised his ticket price $20 and gave everybody that went to that concert the Musicology CD. He also opened up the Musicology MP3 download store. That was your first ever MP3 download store. It came out before iTunes. They then made the practice of selling your CD with your concert ticket in order to get your CD on the charts, illegal. Him doing that put him top 3 on the charts. They made that illegal for any other artist to do that. But more importantly, it was going to be illegal for him to do that because he was somebody who constantly toured. He was somebody whose albums after 1996 were never in stores. So the only way to get himself on the charts was what he did with Musicology. But then they made it illegal. So it was back to you had to buy your CDs directly from Prince, directly from his websites. Even stores in Minneapolis don't have all his CDs. You can go to Electric Fetus right now and not find all his CDs. So Nipsey Hussle being called a genius the day after the 3rd anniversary of Prince's death is really disrespectful. I mean, the late great. It's really disrespectful to me, personally. Because as you can see, I'm a big time fan. And Saturday morning, I actually ran into somebody who used to work for Prince. And me and her were social media friends and had never met face to face. And we were talking, and different people were coming in and out of the gas station as we were talking. And she would ask people, you think Prince was a drug addict, or do you think he was murdered? And most people said, yeah, he was definitely murdered. And for Pete in Houston, if you're listening, it was a MI6 hit. It wasn't just a music industry. It went all the way up to the government. And she said that she witnessed, not personally, but when they showed Blackie and Michael go meet the Queen, Blackie was wearing a purple tie. Michael had on a purple pantsuit or purple something. Blackie handed the Queen a purple box that said it has been done. Somebody else gave her a case of beer, and that beer was called Purple Rain. So that was letting her know it had been done, letting her know it was complete, and that was a tribute to her. Now, you can bet, even though he's not a child, that his melanin was probably harvested. You can bet, because of his level of spiritual awareness and awakeness, that his pineal gland was probably taken. Because when he met with David Icke, there's a David Icke video, and David Icke talks about his level of higher consciousness, and his level of spiritual awareness was off the charts, more so than anybody he's ever met. So there's that. As y'all can see, I post a lot of music on my channel. I'm taking my daughter to see the Avengers Thursday, so I'll give y'all a movie review. Because it's not gonna all be about politics or pop culture. It'll be pop culture, politics. Should I find stupid? Should I find funny? Another thing, I started watching this show called The Chi. It's made by some liberals, but it's actually a really good show. I like it. So comes on Stars or Showtime, one of those channels. Let me check, because I think it's on now. But it's actually a good show. I would see the previews and I was kind of leery because I don't like shine shit. Oh yeah, it's a Showtime show. So yeah, I don't like shine, virtue signaling bullshit. But it talks about the South Side of Chicago and black fathers and their kids, and how the system is rigged towards black men in some ways, and how black men are deadbeats. So it covers the angles and the challenges of growing up in that type of neighborhood. So, it's a good show. It comes on Sundays at 10 after this show called Billions. So, y'all check that out. I'll give y'all some episode reviews When I catch the whole season. I didn't catch the first season, so I don't have my internet hooked up yet, so I don't have my Fire Stick hooked back up, and I don't really care for the Fire Stick, you know, so it's not bothering me that I don't have no internet hooked up, but you know, I will get it hooked up, for the purple peeps that's enjoying the music and hearing songs by Prince you never heard before. I have all his CDs. If you want to, flash drive or some CDs made, uh, put your email in your comments, and you know, I'll let you know. I was, selling flash drives for like $75 on, say, Facebook, and I've probably acquired 30 or 40 CDs since that moment. You know, but if you cool with me, we'll work a deal out. But if you just random, I got stuff you can't buy in stores, so everybody else, you know, you know, PayPal and Vimeo and all this other stuff, and I don't knock them. It is what it is, but I mean, I don't care about YouTube monetizing videos or not. I mean, I work every day. I don't care about that. For people to do, hey, if they got a good channel like X, you know, support them. If they got, a good channel when it calls like CAG, help CAG out. I don't know what her, she got to go fund me. You can go on her channel and find the information out and support her. X has merchandise, so that's a cool way to support somebody that they actually, got some merchandise. You help their channel, but you got something to show for it. So he's got the shirts and tanks and leggings and coffee mugs, and he's working on some hats and all that type of good stuff. And another thing I want to talk about, since I'm a mod on his channel, yesterday somebody in the chat was like, politics only get you so far. After that, it's got to be more than that. And this is another useless, meaningless chat and blah, 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 talking about nothing. And so I added them like, you got a problem? Oh, what you coming at me? What you got you got a thing for power? You calling me out? No. Don't come in somebody's live feed complaining. That was my point. If you got a problem with how the chat is going, if you got a problem with a person on their own live feed, on their own call-in show, what they're talking about, you don't have to make no comments. Just log off. That's why I said something to you. But before I could do that, they got the dick and cheese sandwich from Links. Shout out to Links to Don. She cut that shit short quick. But I'm just saying, if I go in somebody's live chat and whatever it is they talking about is a subject I don't care about, I don't make no comment. I just leave the chat. Like Kiki Green. Kiki Green was cool. I like her channel. Somebody said I don't really like her channel because she was talking about reparations for slavery. That's fine. That's you. I don't agree with reparations for slavery either. So when she talks about that, I don't go in her feed and knock her for having that belief and write no paragraph telling her what she should and shouldn't be talking about on her channel. I just leave out of the chat and catch the next one if it's a subject I want to listen to her talk about. Nobody's making you watch nobody else's live stream. Nobody's making you stay. You're not being held hostage once you get into somebody's chat. And of course you have freedom of speech, but you doing that is like you trying to run somebody else's page. If Axe is talking about a subject I don't care to hear, then I won't get in his chat or I won't watch the video. He's entertaining enough that as long as I've been watching, that hasn't happened. So, but if he talking about subjects you don't like to hear, just leave. You don't have to post no comment on it. Like another person getting all bent out of shape because somebody else don't like Q. People don't have to like QAnon. I don't follow Q. I don't have time for riddles. I'm not Batman. If you can make sense of Q, great. But if somebody else thinks Q is a LARP, or Q is fake, or Q is nonsense, that's their right. That's their opinion. It doesn't make them any less of a patriot because they don't believe in Q. There are things Q said that hasn't happened that I'm still waiting to happen. So it makes me, is Q real or not? That still doesn't mean it's not real. I just don't give a shit whether Q is real or not. It is what it is. I don't care. Hopefully these people start going down though, because I'm getting sick of waiting. But I guess there's a lot of things that have to happen. For these indictments to start to roll and for all this stuff to start to take place. But it will be a happy moment when it does happen. So I can point and laugh and say I told you so to all the Obama sycophants and all the people who wanted Hillary Clinton to be president when she's a horrible freaking person. And to all the people who think the border should be open, and you had a situation where a man comes to the border with a 1-month-old baby, they separate him and the baby, find out that that's not his child. And not only that, but the child is being sexually molested. That's the shit I be talking about. That's the shit I be mad about. And that'll be like, oh, happy day. But I intended to do this video earlier, but I was sleepy because I'm an old lady. So I came home and took my old lady nap. And now it's after midnight. So hopefully I can get back to sleep before 5 a.m. before I go back to the rat race, as Jericho Green called it. Also check out Jericho Green. Awesome channel. His videos are usually only like 8 to 15 minutes long. So if you have a short attention span, you can follow that, I guess. He's also really funny. Cool guy. So, you can check that out if you have video ADHD. But I think I've ranted long enough. Drop your comments for any subject you might think I have some knowledge on that you want me to talk about. And also, before I log off, I had the Jerry Jr. dude come and access page, talking about some he's still reporting and flagging and blocking, and he called me a pig, and he on that keyboard gangster nonsense. You don't play with people. You don't never know who you playing with. You would never come to Cleveland and say that to my face. So I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear no fake gangster, no sucker shit. Also, to my boy John Wayne down in Florida, Arsenal Artistry. I think I showed you a picture, but this is my 357. If you got a holster for it, yes, this is real, people. This is real. This is, like I said, Arsenal Artistry. This is the 357. 357 MMP SIG. So if you got a holster for me, I appreciate it. So I'm gonna log off of here. I'll catch y'all when I catch y'all.